Welcome to WelgunWorld. Today we've got the ground loot tier list video for season 2 of Vanguard. Apologies that it took some time to get out. WelgunWorld sucked me in and I had to spend some time unlocking it and maxing it up while we have this 4x bonanza and clash. But now hopefully we get to enjoy the Welgun for a bit. Hopefully. A good chunk of this video I did record a week ago, so I added a section at the end to address the PPsh buff and then nerf, as well as the Bren, and adjusting some things after getting to playtest the ground loop for a bit. Also at the start, I go over the sources I'm using like WZranked and TrueGamedata, and just how I rank things. If you enjoy the content, please hit the like button, consider subscribing. Thanks everyone for the support. We're almost at 700 subs. Appreciation is really needed in the time and place our world is in, especially with the chaos in Ukraine. So tell the people around you that you love them and you appreciate them. I appreciate you all so much. All right, so we're going to first kind of go over just a review of what I use to rank things. I've been using WZranked a lot. This is a really great resource. You can see you can rank the guns by best KD, and this gives you just evidence-based data how guns are doing. TTKs are great, and it's great to see pure numbers, but in action, this kind of data is really great to see. Oh, this is how good the Bren's been performing, how good MP40 is going. And I use this, I use when you go within each gun, kind of an idea of the best attachments, and I kind of look back at what the ground loot has and go from there. Plus, of course, TrueGamedata, he's doing a great job updating the site and adding new tools and this and that. And so I've been, especially with the ground loot for this season, I punched in the different combinations and it really makes a difference. So we're gonna be referencing these charts quite a bit. All right, so let's get to it. Starting with the 3-line rifle. This gun I've got in A. The Vanguard sniper rifles are okay. You know, they can certainly get downs. They aren't as nice to use as the Swiss or the Modern Warfare Car 98, but as ground loot, they're okay. They're not S, you know, in Cold War when we had the Swisses left and right, that was an S tier. These are A, they're good. I like to snipe, so I would probably use them quite a bit, but I can see how a lot of people might be a little annoyed with how they handled. I'm a fan of the AS44. You know, it doesn't really rank very high in WZranked. I think it's, where is it? 18, it's a 1. It's a little bit stuck in between. With the loadout version, you can get Gung Ho. This one, I don't think it has Gung Ho. So it's really very 10 to 30 meters. Pushing 30 meters out there is a bit of recoil. It's a really great closing circle gun. I put out a highlight video last season where it just like wiped the final circle. I like it. There in this season, there are definitely some true laser beams, so it's a bit in the middle. I think it's kind of bottom of S. The rare version, I've always enjoyed using, as it obviously rares drop much more often, and this has a scope, so I think this is really solid, especially early on, and engagements are a bit closer, but not really one I would want to hold on after loadouts have, you know, dropped and come in and you've bought one. The uncommon version, I've got it in B, no scope, so you're just relying on irons. 50 rounds though, really good for a uncommon. So yeah, I like it in B. It's really solid, but there's actually some really good common guns, as we'll see this season, but this is one of them. This automaton, I've got it in A. I was definitely liking it last season. I love that it has 72 rounds, scoped again, and we can see that it's actually moved up quite a bit in WZranked. It's 6 now, 1.23. It feels more accurate, like they've buffed it a bit since last season. I don't know if that's due to the attachments, whatever, but it definitely feels a bit more beamy. So I definitely like it. It's definitely going to be a workhorse. Actually like that. And then the Epic is really, really good. Top tier, as we'll see, not the best, but almost the best. Here the bar is, yeah, mid A. I know some people like swear by the bar. It's not very fast killing at range, but in the early on, I think its TTK is better than I realized up until like 30 meters. Beyond that, that's where it gets really dicey and a little too slow. So up close, early on, pretty good. MP40, everyone's kind of still the most popular loadout weapon. Really, really good, but as we'll see with the well gun, not the best anymore on the ground at the start. So MP40 is still really good. Recoil booster, it's kitted for max TTK. SVT, as with the SVT, the M1 Garand, just it's hard in Caldera to really use semi-automatics. They use sniper rifle ammo, which if you're at sniping, just terrible. You don't want to be wasting your sniper ammo. It's like a one and done. You've got it. You use bullets, you throw it away. SVT does have good TTK. I think it's just pretty hard to hit your shots in such an open field. So it's just a gun for me. MG42. I really like the MG42. It was actually one of the first guns I tried to level up. The only problem is it's just, that reload time. 6-8 seconds, super long. It's cumbersome. It can totally wipe a squad. There's no doubt about that. Situationally, it can really be dominant. It's got a great TTK, but I think there's just, with so many good ARs, it's a little cumbersome, but it's an A. It's A tier. This is terrible. Don't bother. You get 2 rounds. I don't think you can even down someone with the rounds. I may be wrong, but just not a good gun. Probably the worst ground loot you can get. Bren is still really good. Yeah, it does not as dominant as before. As we can see, it's 10th now, but still really good. You know what to expect. It's a meta Bren. Same with the epic one. Top brick, only 6 rounds. So, but TTK I think is similar to the 1911. 1911 is really good. I really like it. Only has 8 rounds, so it's probably about the 1911. An M1 Garand again, just uses sniper rifle ammo. Decent TTK, but again, you have to hit every shot. Hard to do with it open environment in Caldera. The combat shotgun is alright. Decent, I think you can maneuver, maybe get the down, kind of like the Howler was in past seasons. But it only has 5 rounds, which is pretty low, so it's a bit dicey. So not one that I would often want to challenge, only if I had the drop on my enemy. Cooper Carbine, it has pretty good TTK. I think it's a slightly sub 600 milliseconds. Problem is, against the SMGs, it just loses out in sprint to fire. So probably 1-on-1, you're not going to win unless you have the drop. That's why it's in B. B's, you're downed 1 because you're either like behind them, you've got the advantage. This is going to get the job done. Absolutely. I would just take a bunch of other SMGs over it. No difference with the rare. The Clouser, pretty slow TTK. It does have like more bullets, 11, 12. I think 1911 is better. Probably would just keep the one you drop in with. The Volk is slower TTK than these guys. I didn't put the Volk here, but Volk's about like 640, and you can see the Cooper Carbine, which I also didn't put in here, is I think about 580. But you can see how many 4 SMGs are better. And then the Type 100 is a little higher, this version, but it has better sprint to fire. So that's why the Volk and the Cooper and AS44 are down here. This Car 98 is, I think I like it slightly better than 3-line. So it is still not great handling. This Automaton is the same. This Einhorn, I think this combat shotgun is a little more powerful than the Einhorn. I prefer the combat shotgun, although this is auto. It still feels kind of weak even though it's auto. So I think I would take the combat shotgun over the Einhorn. Type 11, I thought the Type 11 was going to be really good. It's not really shown up in the KD rankings, and in real life it was okay. I don't know what it is. It should be just a slightly slower killing Bren, but it seems to, for whatever reason. But it does have a better scope this season, so I will be trying it out again. Right now I'm putting it top of A. It's just a little lower than what I'd want from something I'm going to keep for the whole round. Terrible. DP27, this one has an SVT as well. They put an SVT on a lot of guns this season, so that's really nice. DP27 has a bit hard relative to other weapons. The recoil management is a bit more difficult, so I've got it here. It's also very slow to reload, but definitely it's got 105 rounds. So again, it's another like could wipe a whole squad with it in the right situation. So it's low A, but we'll see. This version's not suppressed, so that's why I've got it down here. You're going to be drawing a bit more attention with it. This one has no scope, so that's why it's lower, but pretty solid still. I think it's going to get the job done if you've got the advantage. This Einhorn, they're all together here, but the combat, just because the choke I think makes these ones better. Type 100. All right, so TrueGamedata did put out a video talking about how the Type 100 being the meta SMG when it's got the recoil booster and the rapid barrel. This version does not. It has a mercury silencer, has a Shirashi 374mm, and it makes the TTK about 620, and his video was talking about a Type 100 in the low 400s. So a huge difference. So this Type 100 is not as good. It's gonna feel similar. It's gonna feel more accurate actually, but you gotta remember it's not max TTK build. And if you go in thinking it is, and then you've gotta go against the Welgun, the MP40, even the Sten, you're probably gonna get beat. I know in his video he did a combination body shots, headshots. So this is only chest shot, so it may be a little better. Maybe it's sub 600, but I don't think it's where low 400 where the max TTK build is with the recoil booster and the short rad barrel. So it's decent SMG, even though it might be slower TTK than the Cooper Carbine. It's better because of the sprint to fire, I think. It's also suppressed, so I think it's a little better. So I got it low A. This AS44 just above that one. NZ41. So I don't know. It TTK wise, it's really not good. It has a pretty terrible recoil. I think the legendary though, if you saw my attachments video, I showed the recoil. It's a bit straighter, definitely straighter than the epic version. So I think the legendary's okay. There's just so many good guns. I think it's all right. I think it would get the job done. I think the epic version is definitely worse though, marginally worse. This PPsh, of all the blueprints that people have been asking for the attachments, this has come up the most, like at least 3 times versus 0 for any other gun. So everyone's really liking this gun. PPsh has really good TTK. It's here, right in line with the MP40, but you can see the Welgun's almost a second faster. It's pretty ridiculous. So this PPsh is really good. It is silenced. It has 71 rounds. I think those are advantages over the Welgun and MP40 that are on the ground. I like the automaton better because I am a sniper, so I do prefer like a sniper support. PPsh is pretty much only close range. Really, really good. Definitely up there, but I think the Welgun's the best. I think you cannot, it is a meta max TTK Welgun, and that means it's got a like near 460 TTK, and that's by far the best on the ground for this season. So especially early on, you just gotta get through those early rounds. I think the Welgun's #1. It's pretty disgusting. I actually haven't had a chance to use it, but as far as just theoretically, it is tops. Car 98, just the same here. This rare version, gonna do some good work. Again, another rare version. The rares are, honestly, we talk about all these legendaries, but how often do they drop for you? The rare is where the money's at. The automaton, the AS44, the car, that's gonna be a lot of your bread and butter for this season. KGM40 is obviously a new weapon for this season. This one, irons are pretty not good. It's probably the worst irons of any gun on the ground. But it's a solid TTK, not great. So I do think it can get the job done. And it's an AR, so handling is pretty good. I got it here. Handling just over the DP27. I'm gonna put the legendary, which has a good as SVT. I'm gonna put it over the AS44. KD is pretty good early on. Early returns are pretty good, 118. New guns tend to be a little higher for whatever reason. So I've got it here. AS44 again for late game. I would probably prefer, but this KG40 M4 I think is going to be pretty solid. A pretty good gun. It is suppressed. Legendary is just ahead of it. I think another bread and butter for this season, got it between the Automaton and the S44. This one, again, another just irons again. This, again, Clouser, not very fast killing, but a little more bullets than the 1911. This 3-line is here. This M1 Bazooka, always a down 1. This M1 Garand, again, yeah, you know, it just uses sniper rifle ammo. Just terrible. If it didn't, could definitely be a lot higher. That M1 Garand is there. Machine pistol. I have the SVT. SVT is better TTK than M1 Garand, so that's why it's higher. Machine pistol. Okay, so this is an interesting one. I know last season I had it in Don't Bother. If you saw the opening clip of my attachments video, I did use the machine pistol at point blank and it pretty much deleted somebody. I think it has a pretty good TTK, like a pretty ridiculous TTK. I used some, I think it's like rock shotgun, paper shotgun. It's a website. It had the TTK for the machine pistol and it was like 300 millisecond, and that is obviously very, very fast. You have to be literally like a foot away, because if you've seen the recoil from the attachment video, it's ridiculous. But I think like within 5 feet, and that's a pretty rare situation in Caldera than in Verdansk. In Verdansk, that could definitely happen. But I think it's a gun. I think it's a gun. I think it's actually even better than a combat shot, because if you've got to get within 5 feet, like 5 feet, 5 meters with the combat shotgun, you're in range for the machine pistol. And it's got 40 rounds, which is more than enough to get the down, even if you miss a bunch of bullets. I'm gonna put it there. I know a little bit might be a little hot takey, but I'm not gonna test it out. But keep it in the back of your mind. If one's lying around and you're in a building and you got that's your last resort, try it out. Get as close as possible and let loose, and who knows? This MG42 is just behind the other one. This MG is iron sighted. The iron sights on this is pretty bad. And plus the handling, I think I've got it behind the KGM40. Type 99 is a SVT scoped sniper rifle, which is interesting. Doesn't have the ability to hold your breath. I've got it kind of like high B. We gotta see how it plays out, because it might be pretty hard to hit shots without being able to steady the gun. So we'll see. The MK11, again, another down 1. MP40, same great build as last season, pretty much. This also has the recoil boost and the mag and the barrel. All the 3 of these basically the same, and they're all S tier. The uncommon is going to go in A. I've got it above the Type 100 just because TTK is better. But if you like a silenced weapon, go to Type 100. This Cooper carbine is here, no difference. DP27 is here, very little difference. As I said, this NZ41 I think has pretty bad recoil, so it's really got to be up close. But then it's got like a scope, so it's a little wonky. I think, you know, it's just a gun. Owen gun. I'm personally not the biggest fan, but you can't argue against the fact that it's always up at the top in terms of KD ratio. Some people really like it. I think it's a pretty good sniper support. It's not great TTK up close. You can see it's actually pretty bad, but people use it as a sniper support. So I think it's there with the Automaton. I prefer the Automaton, but I could totally see people preferring the Owen gun, and so they're all there. Panzerfaust with the other one shot, one down. The Panzerstrike is just really awkward to use, so I've got it in end of C. This PPsh, really, really good. Barely any difference between the legendary version. The Rat Tat Tat is pretty solid. It's got a better TTK or similar TTK. I think it's just about the same TTK as the 1911, but it has 20 bullets. So it's like a 20 bullet 1911, which is really good. I really like the 1911. If it had more bullets, I'd probably put it over some of these guns, but this Rat is, yeah, it's actually pretty solid. The Sten is pretty good TTK, actually. I've got it after the MG42. It's here, 580, really, really good. I think these guns just kind of increase your range of engagements, and given how readily available like an MP40 or a Welgun, common Welgun is, it's not as gotta have as some of these other guns. So that's why it's there, even though it's really, really solid. STG is very accurate, but not very fast killing at any range. That's why I've got it kind of behind the DP. Yeah, it's just not very fast killing. So it's where it's at. No, actually, I think I have it higher. I think I've got it after the bar, because it's like similar to the bar but slower killing, and it's silent, so that's why I've got it over some of these rares. Some of these rares we're gonna kill faster than the STG. The rare one is top of B. This SVT's there. This SVT might actually be a little easier to use than the scoped versions, but I've got it here. This rare is here. No, it's behind, because these are silenced. This SVT here, both are not scoped. The top break, they're all the same pretty much. This bar, just above this bar. This Owen gun, obviously, again, alike. Type 100, similar to that one. This Type 100, I've got it behind. Again, just so many good SMG options. It's solid, but there are better ones, and these ones. Increase your engagement range, Type 11, right behind that one. This Type 11, this cluster of workhorse, extend your range rare guns. These are like the best rares, other than some of these faster killing ones. SMGs. This Type 99 just behind that. This Type 99 just above the NZ41. I'm just like, because I like the snipe, I'm gonna give it a try over the NZ41, but honestly the NZ41 might be better. STG here, machine pistol again, as I said, maybe a in case of emergency gun. Volk is with the other Volks. Yeah, not much of a difference between any of the Volks. So they're all kind of clustered together. Solid, you know, just it's solid, but again, so many other good. Yeah, here we go. The Welgun. I don't think we've ever had a common version this high, reminiscent of maybe the OTS 9 when it was a common gun. That was pretty ridiculous. I am taking it over an MP40. Even with so the common doesn't have a recoil booster. Without the recoil booster, it's about at 500 milliseconds. So it's still faster than the MP40. If you're used to the MP40, you know it in and out. I could see you taking the MP40 over it, but the Welgun's just the fastest killing SMG, and look, it's #1 KD. You can't argue against that. It's just tops. It is the fastest killing gun, other than, you know, the Type 100 when kitted properly. So, but for ground loot, it is numero uno. This Whitley is, I've got it above the KG40 M40 because I think it's got a better iron sights and about similar TTK. Now the scoped suppressed version I don't think is as good as the KGM40. It is harder recoil. It's more like an MG42 in recoil, so that's why the Type 11 I have it higher than this. They're similar TTK wise. This Whitley is gonna be again in that kind of workhorse cluster here, but at the lower end, this one is with its compatriot that has no scope, and this Sten finally here. All right, so as I mentioned from the top, I recorded that all a week ago, and obviously the PPsh got secretly buffed and then nerfed, but still pretty better than it was before. The Bren is still has no damage range again with that royal barrel, so that's better. So some things change. I got to play some. Starting from the top, Welgun is still ridiculous. Like after having played with it, even more so, I had to unlock it. That's why I haven't done this video, because I was unlocking it, I was leveling it up. Welgun is absurdly good. It is no doubt #1. Automaton is still good. I'm bumping the PPsh above the Owen gun. I got to use the Owen gun a bit. It's definitely a good sniper support, but cannot compete up close. The Bren is really good. Given how good the Welgun is, I'm putting the Bren over the PPsh because you just get that increased range. These Welguns, I would still take a PPsh because it's silenced, but honestly, you can win with this one. It's so good. Owen gun's where it's at. MP40, I'm dropping down, because when you can pick up a common Welgun and beat out an MP40, I can't feel safe with an MP40. I know a lot of you use it a lot and have a comfort level with it. That's fine, but the Welgun is just too good right now. The KGM40 is quite good. I do like it. AS more than AS? I think so, yeah. It's got more range. It's like a kind of less Bren. It's type 11s. Whitney, that's, I think, fine. Car, yeah, MG42. Yeah, MP40 is down here now. I am gonna raise the DP27. TGD put out a video, DP27, pretty good. It's kind of preference. Do you want smaller mag, kind of more mobility, or more bullets? I'm gonna put it right above the MG42. It's kind of the same high mag, low mobility, long reload. The MP40, yeah, MP40 is dropping down. Type 100 because it's silenced, so I kind of feel a little safer with that. This DP27 I would put up. I would take a car. I'd probably take a car over these guys, yeah. These are like sniper support-ish paired with the car. Type 100 I haven't really, this Type 100 is fine where it is. Oh yeah, this uncommon, common KGM40 is pretty good. Quite like it. I would probably put it just behind the AS44. Yeah, more range than the Vogue. That's why I like it over that. All right, well, I think that's what I would change after the updates and everything. And yeah, I've been having fun. If you're not leveling up guns with Clash right now, you're missing out. But the Welgun is absurd. It is the meta now because PPsh has been nerfed again. The ground loot Welguns are ridiculous. So lots of fun with that for this season. I'm gonna have a lot of fun until they probably nerf it. Hopefully that's not for a while. All right, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you found it informative. If you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing, comment. It helps with the algorithm. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.